So oftentimes when we sit in meditation, there's a kind of a doing that comes in. The meditator pulls itself together, or we begin to try to manipulate our experience in order to create whatever we think is supposed to be created in meditation. And so this morning, or this afternoon, before you try to do anything, notice what's already happening. In other words, is it true that meditation and peace and whatever states you're aspiring towards aren't available right now without any manipulation at all of the moment? Is it true that meditation is not available right now in this moment exactly as it is? So to begin with, let us just notice that doer, the one that wants to come and somehow influence your state in this moment, just let that part of you be recognized and seen with compassion, and invite it to just rest right back. Even physically, sometimes you can just this little bit of leaning back lets the doer know that it's okay to rest, that this isn't something else to do, something else to influence. It's exactly the opposite. And in fact, when we try to influence the moment with our efforts, we actually take ourselves in the opposite direction of meditation. So let the doer, the controller, just rest here. Just let it completely remove itself for a moment. And let's just really, in a very genuine way, see where it is that we're at right now in this moment. Meet our moment just as it is. Start exactly where we are. So we can begin by noticing where the mind is at. For some of us, it may be quite busy right now. For others, maybe not so much. Maybe it's settling. Some of us might be feeling our thoughts pulled in a particular direction, getting a little bit restless, questioning our inspiration to join meditation today. And we can acknowledge the mind where it's at. And in so doing, we exercise our ongoing option to not engage. In some ways, just checking in with the mind at the beginning of each meditation can help it to sort of be seen and can help it to relax a little bit. And also checking in with the mind from this observer standpoint helps us to see for ourselves that it's not a great gauge for reality because it tends to contradict itself a lot. And so we just acknowledge where our mind is at in this moment, and we welcome it into the space of our meditation, but we also take that choice one moment after the next to not engage with it for now. And in that way, the thought stream becomes, or will become, can become a little bit more distant. So we're not fighting with it. We're not trying to make it any particular way. We're just acknowledging, I have a mind. I am not my mind. And I don't need to be engaging with it every moment of the day. And then it opens us up to other aspects of our experience, for example, our senses. So we can now open to our various senses and just notice what they might be registering. It could be taste, smell, sound. The darkness behind your eyelids, or maybe you see colors, lights, or maybe your eyes are open. And there too, we acknowledge what the senses are taking in without adding any kind of evaluation or even naming. It's just this acknowledgement, which actually helps the system to relax. And then there's a sense of touch as well, and it's maybe particularly noticeable where the body interfaces with what we're sitting on. That sense of pressure, of solidity beneath us. We might feel our hands resting on our thighs, our clothes brushing our skin. And we're not adding any kind of play-by-play, just letting all of the impressions come and go, come and go. We kind of open the gates, make it very welcoming to our whole experience, but just as it is. That way the mind doesn't have to manipulate it. Ah, okay, so these are the sensations that I feel right now. And we also let the sensations be comfortable or uncomfortable. Usually for any of us at any moment, it's going to be a combination. But that comfort and discomfort is a mind add-on. Without the add-on, it just is what it is. Good. And then we can expand our awareness, as we're checking out what's already happening. We can expand our awareness to the body, to more of the body. So what is happening in terms of just what sensations are being felt, perhaps in the breath cycle, in the abdomen, in the digestive system, in the joints. And there's a whole array of sensations that will arise from within the body. And so the arms of awareness are wide, very wide, and getting wider and wider, just welcoming the whole experience in, which is only overwhelming if the mind is trying to manage it. Otherwise, it's just coming and going, coming and going. And also it helps the system to let go of any efforts and energy it's using to hold certain parts of our experience at bay. And we get to experience for ourselves as we gradually make our way into a more global perspective on our experience. It gives us the experience of actually how it is relaxing and pleasant and peaceful to be and to notice what actually already is without trying to manipulate. So being peaceful is not so much about things being a particular way. It's about accessing that part of us that has space for it all. We get to experience that for ourselves. And in this invitation to notice what's already happening, oftentimes once we are opening the lens of our awareness to include the whole physical body, we also begin to detect those sensations that are related to what we call the emotional body. Not that it's separate from the physical body, but it is something that we tend to separate out in our languaging. And so I'll just go ahead and invite you to include any of that. Maybe it's emotions that have been in your system that you've been aware of in the past few days, or maybe it's something that's always there when you check in, a little bit of a sense of sadness, or maybe there's a joy, maybe both. Maybe there's a sense of irritation, self-doubt, or confusion. So any of these emotional states, feeling states, are felt as sensations, and the words are simply just describing a set of sensations that are more subtle generally than what we feel in the physical body. And so there too, we let go of evaluating, of separating into good or bad, and we just open to the whole spectrum of emotions, and not so much to what we call them, but just to where they inhabit our bodies, how they express. And what is it today? Is it a tightness in the jaw or the throat? Is it a heaviness in the heart? A tension in the shoulders? A gripping in the belly? It's really important to take time to make space for these layers of our experience. Otherwise, all we're ever doing in meditation is running away, and we are not giving ourselves the opportunity to experience the peace that we are, that exists in spite of, and maybe even because of, just everything that's arising within us. And if you're attuned to energy at this point, you may also be feeling even subtler sensations, maybe flow or pulsation or feelings along the center line of the body where the chakras are. A little bit of a squeezing in the throat or pressure in the head, a swirling in the belly. And again, we're just opening to the subtler and subtler layers of what is already happening in our being, and letting ourselves be like really open and available, really letting any kind of analysis or previous knowledge or future orientation, just let all of that go. And let the sensations exist as a dance. This is what's already happening in our body, and nothing needs to be regulated, separated out, fixed. And as all of those efforts at manipulating slowly let go, it's like the clouds part and the light of the sun of awareness, of presence, of spirit begins to peek through. Maybe you get these little glimpses of all is well. Of peace. And other qualities that come along with presence, wisdom, understanding, trust. And so for the remainder of our time today, I invite you to rest here and to continue to let the experience come and go all on its own, and to continue to let the doer take a nice rest from its concerns. And let yourself be nourished by this. It's a wellspring that arises from within that is very, very nourishing for the body, for the nervous system, for the heart, for the mind.